A star shines bright, the birth of Jesus. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. This event was special. A bright star shone in the sky. It guided people to the newborn king. Shepherds who watched over their sheep were the first to see him. They were amazed by the angel's message. Wise men from the east followed the star. They brought gifts for the baby Jesus. These gifts were gold, frankincense, and myrrh. King Herod, who ruled Judea, felt threatened by Jesus' birth. He wanted to find and harm the baby. An angel warned Joseph, Jesus' earthly father. Joseph took Mary and Jesus to Egypt. They stayed there until Herod died. This event fulfilled an ancient prophecy. Growing up in Nazareth, the early years. After Herod's death, Jesus and his family returned to their home in Nazareth. Nazareth was a small town in Galilee. Life was simple there. Jesus grew up in a large family. He learned carpentry from his father, Joseph. He lived a normal life until he was about 30 years old. We don't know much about Jesus' childhood. The Bible tells us he grew strong and wise. He was filled with God's grace. He was a curious and observant child. He learned about Jewish traditions and scriptures, miracles and teachings. Jesus begins his ministry. When Jesus was around 30, he began his public ministry. He was baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. This event marked the beginning of his mission. After his baptism, Jesus traveled throughout Galilee and Judea. He preached about God's love and forgiveness. Jesus performed many miracles during his ministry. He healed the sick, calmed storms, and even raised the dead. He used these miracles to demonstrate God's power and compassion. People were amazed by his teachings and actions. They flocked to hear him speak and witness his miracles. As Jesus' popularity grew, so did the opposition from the religious leaders. They saw him as a threat to their authority. During Passover, Jesus shared a final meal with his disciples. This meal is known as the Last Supper. At this meal, Jesus broke bread and shared wine with his disciples. He told them these represented his body and blood. After the meal, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. He knew what was about to happen. He was betrayed by one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot. Jesus was arrested and taken before the Jewish council. He was falsely accused of blasphemy and sedition. The Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, sentenced him to death by crucifixion. Jesus was crucified on a cross at a place called Golgotha. His followers were devastated. They had placed their hope in him. They thought he was the Messiah, the one who would save them. But on the third day after his death, something amazing happened. Jesus rose from the dead. The resurrection of Jesus is the most important event in Christianity. It is the foundation of Christian faith. It proves that Jesus is the Son of God. It offers hope for eternal life to all who believe in him. The resurrected Jesus appeared to his disciples for 40 days. He taught them about God's kingdom. Then he ascended into heaven.